Don't kill me, man! Don't kill me! Don't kill me, man!
I'm not going to kill you. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me.
What are you?
I'm Batman.
He's Batman. I'm Matt. This is Nerdy Geek. Don't mess with Batman. He's always got a plan, right? All right. Welcome to another episode of Good Cinema. First time guest on this show, Nerdy Geek. He was on the Hangout a little bit last night. Them guys get kind of rowdy, though. I know that. I try to do something to calm them down, but you never know what's going to happen. But today we are reviewing Conan the Barbarian, one of the greatest movies of all time, in my opinion.
Oh, I love it. I've watched this ever since I was a kid.
And it's got a great cast in it, as you can see here. This guy right here, up here next to Thulsa Doom on the right, he actually was LaForge in Mallrats, the cop, the mall cop. So,
he was the gladiator that they brought out to fight Maximus in Gladiator 2.
That's right. Yep.
Yep.
Guy's always been an action. I think he was a former bodybuilder. It's
Yeah.
Probably, I'm sure he's friends with Arnold from back in the day, the Mr. Universe days, Mr. Olympia, or whatever they call it. If anybody doesn't know the history of Conan the Barbarian, or you don't know who Conan the Barbarian is, if you've been living in a cave for the last 50 years or 100 years, then maybe you wouldn't know that he was a character created by the writer Robert E. Howard. And Frank Frazetta did a lot of collaboration with him, didn't he? Like
Yes.
the book covers a lot of the book covers. And also, if you're not familiar with Robert E. Howard's books, then you might be familiar with Conan the Barbarian, the comic book. It started in 1970, and the first cover here by Barry Windsor Smith, the late Barry Windsor Smith. So yeah, and that's on my bucket list of books right there, by the way. So hopefully I'll find it one day. I'll probably have to save up for it, but I'm not trying to get a 9.8. I'm not crazy, I'll try to get like a 4.0 or 5. I'll be happy with a 2 if it looked good in the front, if the cover looked good, But and then also we got the movie. Some of the actors I can't remember. I'll tell you their names later. But this is obviously James Earl Jones, the beautiful Sandal Bergman, who was also in Hell Comes to Frogtown, and she was the villain in Red Sonja. Of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger. This guy's interesting. I can't remember his name. This was John Millis's buddy from high school. They used to surf together. And you got the princess here. They've left off. Have they left anybody off? No, they're not really. Well, except for a couple of guest appearances we'll see by some pretty big actors. I can't remember his name right off the bat, but you'll know him when you see him. I thought I can tell you. He plays the king. What's the actor's name? Is it who's the actor that plays the king?
Man,
get some daughter back.
Usually I know it right off the bat, but right now I can't remember it.
It's not Christopher Lee, but he knows Christopher Lee. I'm thinking him and Christopher Lee were buddies. No, Max von Sydow. He also played Ming the Merciless in the 1980 Flash Gordon film, and he's also was a stage actor. He's been in a lot of 70s movies. He was in a lot of horror movies. I think he was in some of those Hammer films. Remember the Hammer Studios? They used to make like the vampire films with Jack Palance. I think he might have been in a few of those. He was also in the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo movie starring Daniel Craig. So I do remember that because he was the guy looking for who was sending these pictures. Yeah,
he was in he was in the Tom Cruise movie. Well, the one where they like stop people from the future.
Oh yeah, Minority Report.
Yes, Minority Report. Yeah.
And we got some great, I put some still shots in here because this is one of my favorite movies. This is when Conan was a slave. My favorite outfit, or my favorite costume, is when he's got the black paint on. I want to get that action figure. Reaction makes a bunch of these Conan action figures. You can actually get him and Thulsa Doom and Valeria and his buddy, the little buddy, the thief buddy. And there they are in all their glory. And Settle Bergman was not only an actress, she was a dancer. She had been
Super
on Broadway.
tight.
You got these two guys, yeah, and you got they were a good. I think they were a good pair together, don't you?
Yeah, they were.
And you know what else I like about this? She's not a damn. There's the two guys we're talking about, LaForge. And I call him LaForge because he was in Mallrats. And we got a comment there. I'll show you. And here's what what makes me sad though is the end of this movie, because what if we had gotten this movie?
Oh, I know. And then Arnold was trying to get it done. I want to say a few years ago. It was probably about 10 years ago now. And I'm like, that would have been so awesome to see old Arnold playing, King Conan.
I know. Now it's a classic, and the soundtrack. And we'll get into that. I'll probably get in trouble for playing what I'm going to play. But we'll try to play 8 seconds of it. Of course, everybody told me you're probably never getting monetized, Matt. You do too much movie content. I don't care. And look how cool James Earl Jones looks in this outfit, man, with his armor on.
Yeah, he looked awesome.
He was such a good bad guy in this film. Yes, they did. They just released a limited edition Conan action figure. Also, they just released a limited edition Vampirella, or it's for pre-order right now. So I'm sure my wallet's going to be hurting again in July, even after Heroes Con. So, I mean, it's going to be hurt. It's hurting in June already. But I'm sure, and, Frank Rosetta's granddaughter, I'm not trying to be a dirty old man, but she's more my age anyway. She's a looker. She's pretty cute. All right. But we'll start out. We'll share the Wikipedia page, and we'll talk about some of the stories on set. I got a funny story that I saw watching the Arnold Schwarzenegger docuseries on Netflix last week. Rewatched it because it's just so good, about how he got the role as Conan the Barbarian. It's really interesting. Let's see if we can get this to come up. And we might have somebody else step in, but I think that maybe Madam and Big Jeff couldn't be here today. Adamantium Blade Comic Collectibles. He's he's got a new job. He works a couple days a week. So yeah. And I guess Madam might have been busy. It's okay though. But yeah, well, check out the Frazetta Girls page. It's really cool. It's got some great prints and stuff like that. Hey, Aaron, how you doing? Aaron's in the chat today. All right, here we go. Let's go through this. This is Conan the Barbarian, 1982, American epic sword and sorcery film. I would say it's one of the first, this one caused the craze. What do you think of the epic sword and sorcery films, really? It was
because after this one, a lot of them came out trying to mimic it.
Yeah. Exactly, and they didn't always have that much success. You did have some good ones like Beastmaster, but then you had some by Roger Corman that were just like, oh, God. Now, this one was directed by John Milius. It was written by John Milius and Oliver Stone. Now, if you don't know who John Milius is a very famous writer and filmmaker. He directed the movie Red Dawn. He's more known for his writing. He wrote the screenplay for Apocalypse Now, and he did a treatment for the screenplay for Jaws. You know the scene where they're talking about where Robert Shaw's character is talking about the USS Indianapolis?
Yes.
That scene was written by John Milius.
That's a great scene.
And that's probably the best scene in the movie. It gives me chills. We reviewed that movie a few weeks ago, and I rewatched it when me and my cousin were sitting here by ourselves one day, and we rewatched it. We're like, man, this movie still holds up. But anyway, we're kind of digressing. It's based on a character by Robert E. Howard, of course. The film stars Arnold Schwarzenegger and James Earl Jones. Of course, tells the story of a barbarian warrior named Conan, who seeks vengeance for the death of his parents at the hands of Thulsa Doom, the leader of the snake cult. And you'll also hear a recurring theme in this film. He's trying to figure out what his dad called the riddle of steel. Ideas for a Conan film were proposed in 1970 by executive producer Edward R. Pressman and associate producer Edward Summer. They began an effort to get the film made in 1975. It took them 2 years to obtain the film rights. After that, they recruited Schwarzenegger for the lead role and Stone to draft the script. In 1979, after his proposals for investments were rejected by major studios, he sold the project to Dino De Laurentiis, who's a producer, probably a legendary producer in the 70s and 80s. He produced movies like Flash Gordon.
Yep.
Also, they printed Milius as the director, and he rewrote some of Stone's script. The final screenplay integrated elements from various Howard stories, as well as Japanese films, The Seven Samurai and Quaden. Filming took place in Spain over 5 months in the regions around Madrid in the province of Almeria. The sets designed by Ron Cobb in the province of Almeria. The sets were designed by Rob Cobb, were based on Dark Age cultures and some of Frank Frazetta's paintings of Conan. Milius eschewed optical effects, preferring to realize his ideas with mechanical constructs and optical illusions. Schwarzenegger performed most of his own stunts, and 2 types of swords costing $10,000 were forged for his character. The editing process took over a year. It was distributed by Universal Pictures. The film earned Schwarzenegger. This movie made Schwarzenegger a superstar, I think. This was the birth of his reign as the top action star of the 80s and 90s, or one of the top. And it was frequently released on home video, of course, sales which increased the film's gross to more than $300 million by 2007. In the years following its release, it's become a cult film, and its success spawned a sequel called Conan the Destroyer, which, it's good. It's good, but it's not as good as this one. All right, so when the film opens, he's like, okay, well, let's just go. I want to go over some tidbits, the background. They had licensing problems. From Lancer Books, didn't want to give them the rights or something. It says. I didn't realize Oliver Stone was involved in this. That's kind of cool. But it sounded like he got rewritten. Here's the cast I was talking about. Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's Arnold. This is Jerry Lopez, aka Mr. Pipeline. He was an American surfer and surfboard shaper, journalist, and film actor. He did this as a favor. He plays his sidekick. And You got the beautiful Sandal Bergman, played Valeria, and one of the greatest actors of all time, in my opinion, and one of the greatest voices, maybe the greatest voice of all time.
Definitely.
Yeah, played Thulsa Doom. Max von Sydow is King Osric. Who's this? Mako. That's the guy that plays the wizard. And he was actually a gourmet chef, by the way. He was like a 5-star gourmet chef. William Smith, he plays Conan's father, the first of it. Sven O. Thorson plays Thorgrim. And Ben Davidson, who was a professional football player for the Oakland Raiders, played Thorgrim, or Rexor. Cassandra Gabe played the witch. Osric's daughter is Valeria Quincenson. Valerie, okay, she's beautiful. That's the one that played the kidnap. George Sands. Yeah. George Sands played the young Conan. And some girl named Nidiuski is Conan's mother. Let's see if we can find a little bit more about this. They filmed it. Okay, well, that's about it. But I will tell you a story I heard about this. When they were casting in the Arnold Schwarzenegger docuseries on Netflix, he goes in to see De Laurentiis, the producer, and he's a little Italian guy with an accent. He's got a thick Italian accent. He had. And the first thing they get there, Arnold didn't care. Like Arnold said, look, I had made over $1 million in real estate since I quit bodybuilding. And I wasn't going to take I wasn't going around. I told my agent, I'm not going to play some background character, or something like that. I want to be in the movie, featured in the movie. And the agent's like, tell him, no, Arnold, you can't do that. It don't work like that. So, but he walks in there and they're like, we're going to see if you'll audition for this movie, Conan the Barbarian, to play Conan. And he sees a guy behind the desk that I'm talking about, the De Laurentiis, and he's got this big giant desk. He's like a little short guy with thick Italian accent. He goes, "That's an awful big desk for a little man." That's the first thing that Arnold says to him. So he's already on the wrong foot with him. And And then he's like, I don't see you as this character. You can barely speak English. At the time, he's still struggling with English. He says, I still think you've never got a history of acting. You're a bodybuilder. And he said, well, I can't understand your accent. Your Italian accent is so bad, I can't understand you. So I don't know what. And he's like, he told me, run him out of the office. And his agent's like, what the hell? That's like a minute and 30 seconds. That's the shortest meeting I've ever had with a client. It says, we're probably both never going to work in this town again. But then the thing was, though, John Milius, who he slated to direct it, was like, no, who else is going to play him? Look at his physique. Who else are we going to get that looks like that? He looks like Conan. I call him Conan O'Brien, Conan the Barbarian. I mean, it's just ridiculous. They can't get David Carradine to do this. You're not going to get Robert Redford to look like that. So he relented, and they're on the set. Hey, Jay. And De Laurentiis came up to him and says, you are Conan. And Arnold just looked at him and like, yeah, I know. Yeah, it's called F.U. buddy. Exactly. Arnold says, I'm rich, bitch. Yeah, well, so when it opens up, you hear his father, Conan, talking to young Conan, right? About the riddle of steel. They just forged this beautiful sword. And of course, if you know anything about Conan, his people are Sumerian. So, but they're right there. He's talking about that. And then these raiders come in. One of them, of course, led by Thulsa Doom, played by James Earl Jones. And they come in. There's this beautiful scene where she's trying to protect him. And he's almost like he mesmerized her. I guess he's got some kind of magical ability. And she just freezes. He lops her head off right in front of the young Conan. They make him a slave. And then he works on this meal thing or whatever for years, building up the muscles.
The Wheel of Pain, isn't it?
Yeah. And the Wheel of Pain. And then when he comes up, man, and they realize how big he is, they train him in all these different fighting skills, and he becomes a pit fighter. Now, some of the clips I have, I couldn't find a lot of clips, but we'll play a few, and they're not in any order. Just bear with me. And also, though, one of my favorite, which is one of the intro videos I use a lot, we'll play it first. When the guy that owns Conan is like, what's best in life? And his son's like, a good steed, a good woman, all this bullshit. And he's like, no, Conan.
Wrong!
And it's just,
Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women. That is good.
and one of my favorite lines in the movie, I always quote it. And they formed him in this like hard fighter, right? He just knows everything. He just shows no mercy in the pit. They even breed him. They breed him like he's an animal. Like, well, they always put these beautiful women in there, and it's really cool. And we'll show some more clips here.
Yeah, he was privileged to the finest stock. Isn't that what they say?
Yeah. All right, Jay. Good to see you, man. I hope y'all enjoy the show. We're so they're not in any order. I'll try to like make rhyme or reason of it, but like there's some cool clips I got loaded. I didn't have them in order, unfortunately.
There's a ton of great clips from this movie. I mean, just almost they knew his accent was going to be an issue, so they just really made him only say what he would say. Yeah, but every line is like a classic line.
Yeah, and like this is like I just love the intro. We'll play the intro a little bit.
And the rise of the sons of Arius, there was an age undreamed of. And unto this Conan, destined to bear the jeweled crown of Aquilonia upon a...
I like the play of it, but that's still cool. And that's the wizard that's doing the narrating, right?
Right.
The old wizard man. And
Akiro? Was that his name, Akiro?
Yeah, Akiro, that's it. And so Conan, eventually the guy gets drunk one night that owns him and just frees him. Like I think he was afraid that Conan was going to end up killing him or something because he was just so badass. Yeah, the ending is great too. I mean, it's just, the ending is. I wish I could have found a video of that, but he's looking for that standard of the two snakes.
Yes.
like meeting together, and he runs into this old witch. I can't play the whole clip, but we'll play the part where he's talking about looking for a standard.
What is it you seek?
A standard. A symbol. Perhaps on a shield. Two snakes coming together. Facing.
That's cool. I just like all these, and then there's like some more stuff going on here. Like, well, they become thieves. He meets the guy. It's a little guy. They're not going to be in order, so I apologize again. Like I said, I was just in a hurry.
You're not a guard.
Neither are you.
The thieves, like yourself, come to climb the tower.
You don't even have a rope.
She's like, you guys are trying to rob this place. You don't even have a rope. So she
Yeah.
kind of takes charge, which is funny. There's a scene, like it's a small clip, but I like what she says when they're like, she just jumps in. She's like, "Do you guys want to live forever?"
Do you want to live forever?
She just jumps right out. They're trying to get out. That's when they're trying to get out.
You know, that's
And,
the first time I realized that they took that line from Starship Troopers used that line too.
Yep.
When he's like, "Come on, you apes, you want to live forever?"
And I'm just gonna play some clips. There's no context. Everybody's seen this movie, I hope, that's watching.
A pittance to protect you from evil.
I am evil.
You're slats. He's dead already.
Ended that one just in time.
Yep. And we got a few. That's where they're getting out. He kills that. He hacks that snake to death. That's so cool. Like, and that was a pretty cool practical effect from '82. With that big snake, the giant snake, and they think it's like that one guy thinks it's like, what's his buddy's like, man, this is like a cool place. So this is paradise. And they realize they're sacrificing people, this giant snake in there. It's not just some big orgy. This is like a cult.
So this is paradise.
I don't know if I can show that. It looked like there were some naked bodies there, but whatever. I guess we'll get shut down. Now, this is the scene where they're trying to bring him back to life, like he'd been on the tree of woe.
All the gods, they cannot sever us. If I were dead and you still fighting for life, I'd come back from the darkness, back from the pit of hell to fight.
That's one of my favorite lines in the movie. And she keeps that promise too. Even though she sacrificed herself, she does come back when he needs her. And she's got this shining armor on. It's really cool. Here's where he meets the wizard.
Hey, man. Where'd you get this stuff?
The dead. The gods are pleased with you. They will watch the battle.
Met him, but I have the one where he met him.
The wizard. I told him I would pay the gods.
And I like this part. Like this right here shows you how cool James Earl Jones was in this role.
Now they will know why they are afraid of the dark. Now they will learn why they fear the night.
Yeah, it's a great James. He was so good in this movie, and he wasn't in it that much.
No, but and that's probably a good thing because you got this sense of mystical thing about him. Like when Conan tries to infiltrate the cult at first before he gets put on the tree of woe.
Yeah,
and he catches him. He's like, "Oh, you think this right here is?" He holds his sword up, like, "You think this is power?" He goes, "This is power," and he points up to the cliff. Says, "You child, come here, come on." And that's a crazy stunt this person did. Whoever did it, she just jumps off to her death.
Yep.
Back to and they're like, hey, "That's power." So he said that he believed in the riddle of steel too, and that kind of thing and that kind of power. And he got bored of that. Then he realized he could manipulate and control people. So he's kind of like he's like the Jim Jones of the Hyborian age, I guess you could say.
You know. Yes. And then I like whenever Conan says you killed you know, my father, you killed my mother, you killed my people. And he's like, must have been in my youth. Like, it was no big deal. Like, he doesn't even remember it.
Yeah,
It
like
was
I was just a reckless young person, and
Yes.
like it was just like, oh, I was just being foolhardy, you know.
Yeah.
Well, then the king captures them when they're trying to steal something. That's the scene I'm gonna set up now. And he Max von Sydow says, "Well, you could either rot in my dungeon for stealing all my gold, or you can help me find my daughter who's been kidnapped by the Cult of the Snake."
There comes a time, thief, when the jewels cease to sparkle, when the gold loses its luster, when the throne room...
I can't play the whole thing. It's like a 22-second clip. So.
Oh, that's a great line he does.
Yeah. And this is the one where Valeria, I like this scene. This is where after Valeria is dead and the wizard it's like, what's he doing? Is he's in his buddy says he's mourning, but he's a Sumerian. He doesn't cry.
He is Conan, Sumerian. He won't cry. So I cry for him.
Yeah, that was good.
Infidel defilers, they shall all drown in lakes of blood. Now
I like how it is.
Now they will know why they are afraid of the dark. Now they will learn why they fear the night.
What they fear in life. And he called them an infidel. Like they were so, like the guys look like they were like crying over that big snake getting killed. You find out later that one guy said, "Oh, you raised him since he was a little baby," you know. And
yeah,
I don't care. Only good snake's a dead snake if it gets around me.
I like how they talk about in the behind the scenes how they picked those two guys because they needed somebody to look formidable against Conan, because anybody else would just have been like fodder to him.
Yeah.
So they specifically looked for the biggest people they could find.
Well, they succeeded too. The guys were.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of them was a former NFL player, and the other guy was a bodybuilder, I think,
yep.
An action hero or action star. He was in a lot of movies. I've seen him in Van Damme movies,
yes,
Chuck Norris films, all that stuff. A lot of those guys like hanging in the same circles, though. Like they would know the same people, kind of like the martial art film guys.
Yeah,
you'd always have Benny the Jet hanging around Chuck Norris and guys like that. And Van Damme, who was actually a martial artist. When I did some research on it. He was kind of a martial artist, but I mean, he wasn't as accomplished as like a Chuck Norris or a Bruce Lee. But anyway, we're talking about Conan today. And here's where he meets the wizard. I like this one.
I'm a wizard, mind you. This place is kept by powerful gods and spirits of kings. On my flesh, and you will have to deal with the dead.
I love how Conan just starts laughing at him, and they're just both over there just going back and forth.
They're like, I like when him and his buddy, the thief buddy, are like talking about their gods. So my God's mightier than your God. My God laughs at your God. Oh man. Anyway, here we go. I like this line too.
To the hellfires with Thulsa Doom. He's evil, a sorcerer who can summon demons. His followers' only purpose is to die in his service.
So we're kind of setting up how evil and formidable this guy is.
Yep.
Let's see what else we got here.
A witness to...
I got that one. That one. I like the excuse they gave. Like, where's your other partner at? Oh, the lions ate him.
He was killed in the gardens. The lions ate him.
And then I like this where Conan was trying to infiltrate the.
What do you see?
Infinity.
Also, I think this movie is. I saw somebody. Yeah, it's my God can beat up your God. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's also, I think, a thing about this movie. It was like like counterculture movie. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the people in it that like the cult people are like kind of like to me they almost symbolize hippies. And like
they did seem like it.
And it's like they were kind of like saying, this shit didn't work. See, these guys are a bunch of idiots. And I think it's kind of like and then they're kind of a critique of the counterculture of the 60s and early 70s. John Milius was more of like I don't know, John Milius wasn't into that like anti-war. Like I'm pretty sure he was a Republican, and not that it matters, but I'm just saying I think he was like more like conservative.
Yes,
and so that's kind of like his indictment of the counterculture, so to speak. Now let's see. Here's another one we're trying to get. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. Here we go. This is where they're trying to bring him back to life, like he's almost on the death's door. Like the wizard, they put all this.
Sometime soon, perhaps tonight, they'll try to take him. And if they succeed...
If they succeed, you'll follow.
Oh, Valeria wasn't fooling around. She's like,
no, she wasn't. She was as hardcore as Conan was, if not more, at the beginning.
I know. Let's see if I can find anything else I've not played yet. We got one more clip. This is like the last scene, though. This is where I can't play it all. It's like 36 seconds, but like James Earl Jones is like basically saying, "I molded you. You became what you are because of me, child."
My child, you have come to me, my son. For who now is your father if it is not me? Who gave you the will to live?
When he chops his head off, holds it up and throws it down the steps, and all the people just walk away. They're like, well, party's over.
Yep.
So
just throw out their little.
Yep. So this is a really great movie, man. I don't know. I just think it's probably one of my favorite movies of the 80s. We did a poll to see who was going to pick this movie for this week, and it was the poll was like you had 4 choices: Conan the Barbarian, Batman '89, the Thing, and the list came in second. The Thing won, but this one came in second. Then I had another movie on there, Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, but it came in third. And oddly enough, Batman came in last, but this came in second. So this was the second one, but this one, The Thing, seemed to be more popular. They're actually 2 of my favorite 80s movies, although I love all 4 of those movies. And I don't know. This movie, I don't know what else we can say about this movie. I'm kind of running out of things to say.
Well, this is one of those movies that when you first just see the cover and you hear about it and you don't know anything, it's just like, oh, it's just a dumb sword and sandals, wizard movie, no big deal. But when you actually watch it and pay attention to the themes of it, it's actually a really good movie. There's a lot of this, a lot of more in-depth things in the movie when you really pay attention.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, and it's also, I thought it did a good job of representing what the essence of Conan the Barbarian.
Yes,
I like Conan the Destroyer, but I don't think this one doesn't do quite as well justice as much as this does.
No, this one, like I said, this one has really good themes. It seems like with the second one, they're like, hey, let's just make a sequel. Let's just have them fight, give a little story. That's all it really was.
Yeah, let's make it a little bit more PG so it's more accessible to children. I think they made a mistake there.
Yeah, because this one was R and the second was PG, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it had more of a like family friendly like vibe to it, which I wasn't a fan of. But it also spawned the movie Red Sonja, which is good, but it's not as good as this movie.
And then they didn't let him use Conan's name in that movie, even though everyone knew it's Conan.
Even though we all know that's who he played in that movie. Come on.
Yes.
I mean, you're not fooling me. You can don't pitch down my back and tell me it's raining.
Yeah.
That's my granddaddy would say. But yeah, and I just I don't know. There's so many great parts of this movie that we didn't get to see, but like they talk about the riddle of steel, and then we get the end of it, like we get something. I wish that it's kind of like, what if we could have got this though? They talk about him being a great king at the end of it, and then he got King Conan.
That would have been so awesome.
And
that's almost what he looked like at the time. Whenever he was trying to do it, when he was trying to get the movie made.
Yeah, and they could technically still do it and have somebody play his son, and have his son do all the, the most of the fighting.
Oh man, his kid that looks just like him.
Yeah. I just like some of these stills. These guys look like, you know what they actually look like? They look like the opening act for Iron Maiden. I love it.
Yeah.
And then this is my favorite picture. Actually, this is like a classic pose. He's got that black paint on. When they're in there,
I've always wanted to get that statue.
I know, that's so sick. And great wardrobe. Great practical effects, great cast, great direction, great writing. I give it 2 thumbs up. I don't know about you, but I give it 2 thumbs up.
Oh yeah, it's classic, classic movie.
And while we're still here, I'll everybody, we're going to reveal. Yeah, this looks like the opening act of Maiden, don't it, Aaron? All right, now that we're done with all that, I was going to say something real. We're going to preview. Here is I've already decided on what's going to be on the next episode of Good Cinema next Thursday at noon Eastern. Usually it's on noon Eastern on Thursday, but today I had to do it Friday. But next Thursday at noon Eastern, I thought it was time we kind of made it a little bit more lighthearted on this show. So we'll be reviewing the film Caddyshack, starring Chevy Chase, Bill Murray, Rodney Dangerfield, and Ted Knight. So
another classic.
Yes. Very classic. That was a very good classic. And don't forget that tomorrow you can start nominating people for the CBC Awards, the Comic Book Community Awards. They have their own Instagram. I'm going to look it up right now, and I'm going to drop it in the chat. Just give me a second.
So I got a question for you, Matt. Where would you put Rawhead Rex? Would that be bad cinema or good cinema?
I don't think I've seen that one.
You've never seen Rawhead Rex? Oh my gosh, Matt. It's one of those creature features from the 80s.
Well, it sounds like, just from initially thinking about it, it would be bad, but I mean, you never know. Well, on this show, it's kind of weird what I do. So, all right, here is the link for the CBC Awards. It's going in the chat right now, so you can nominate. You can nominate yours truly in the $4.99 or $500 or lower categories. Just remember, guys, if you're thinking about nominating anybody, we got some comments. There's Cali Comics. How you doing, Cali Comics? Yeah, this is a total classic. And while I'm at it, I think I'm going to do this. We'll put the let me find it. I'm going to put another link in the chat right now.
Where would Pumpkinhead go in your good or bad cinema?
Bad. But see,
bad? You didn't like Pumpkinhead?
Yeah, the bad cinema is not. What bad cinema really means is the B movie. It doesn't mean it's not good.
Okay. I got
because my tagline is, just because it's bad doesn't mean it's not good.
Yeah, because Pumpkinhead, the first time I watched it, I remember thinking, like, just the name of it sounds dumb. I'll give it a watch. But when I watched it, I'm like, this is actually a really good movie. My son enjoyed it too.
Now, I want to remind everybody, I put another link in the chat. If you're going to Heroes Con or not, you also can donate even if you're not. Comics Curing Cancer will have a booth at Heroes Con, booth 1766. If you're not going, you can get this. Check this out, though. I got a C3 art book. Cover art by David Sanchez, limited 300. You can order it now online at comicscuringcancer.bigcartel.com. I think all of us have been touched by cancer in one way or another. So, and you can also, all the money goes to the cancer research. Yeah, Pumpkinhead's got a comic. So just remember that. They have their own portal at the Cancer Society of America. So the money goes directly to them. So there's no worrying about where does the money, how some charities are like, where does the money really go there? or not, you know. But all right. Well, I'm done with that. Then I'll tell you what else is going on because I got a lot of stuff going on this show. Stay tuned for Sunday Super Show Extravaganza on Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern. And then Monday at noon Eastern, Bad Cinema presents Enemy Gold, starring Julie Strain, produced by Andy Sedaris. And then my friend Joe, the Crazy Hungarian, will be my guest Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern for Comic Conversations. I know I got a lot of stuff going on, so sorry, guys. And don't forget the Beyond the Con thing going on during Heroes Con. If you can't make it, they're going to be doing giveaways. Be Razor Comics, Cheap Comic Collector, Swagda, Crazy Hungarian will have a giveaway show. Swag, all those guys will have a giveaway show. And one collection down, we'll be having one. So, and I might be popping in a few of them just to do a guest spot from Heroes Con. All right. But in summation, I guess it's safe to say we both give this movie 2 thumbs up.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. That's awesome. Well, I guess we'll end it there. We had a pretty good show. I'd like to thank everybody for watching. And remember, okay, I kind of stepped over my words there, but until next time, true believers, excel.
Come, son of Jarrell! Kneel before Zod!
Snoochie boochies.